Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TDL America's Pro Series 29.
Dyer's turn to
We
bat.
are into our semifinals. We've got ANxJell Esports against AstroCats for our
10
semifinal
seconds.
match today. ANxJell Esports
5
won
seconds.
the coin flip, and I believe took first pick from that. AstroCats chose the Radiant side. Pretty standard for draft selection there. We got to see some fun AstroCats action yesterday, so looking forward more to that. But this is the number one seed in the form of ANxJell Esports, so definitely looking to be a pretty spicy one. Bans to start things out, focusing that support category. I believe this is similar bans to what we were seeing AstroCats working with yesterday. Taking out the Spirit Breaker and the Nature's Prophet, focusing on those global impact support heroes that are very strong in the meta right now. Going to take out the Chen as well, big time position 5, and I believe a bit of a specialty of Luis on ANxJell. I know he also plays a mean Elder Titan. Looks like that one is going to make it through. Batrider taken out as well. And I think that's a support ban as well. I think that's 4 support bans by AstroCats, which we were seeing them doing a similar strategy yesterday. On the side of ANxJell, we've got Treant Protector and Invoker banned out. So also taking out a support, and then Invoker more of a flex hero. Something that's pretty powerful to pick up in the first phase, really leaves your draft open, and can be powerful in the support role or in the mid role. So, no surprise seeing that one go away. They're also going to take out a Pugna, so thinking about some of that high magic damage been strong right now, and they're going to pick up a Tusk to start things off. So, I think this was a hero we were seeing AstroCats banning yesterday. Similar to Spirit Breaker and Nature's Prophet. Doesn't nearly have the global mobility, but really good at setting up a team fight.
10 seconds remain.
Really nice initiation, really good save with the snowball. Just an all-around strong support. Can be flexed to a core role if you need to. Not very in meta right now, but definitely still on the table. The response from AstroCats is going to be a Gyrocopter. This guy's been a bit of a monster. As mostly a support, but again a flexible hero. Using an early Aghanim Shard to get an obscene amount of damage on the homing missile has been a pretty viable support strategy lately. So that's going to set up AstroCats to have reliable stun, albeit a bit slow, and also just a ton of magic damage out of the support, which I think is something we're seeing a lot of right now. Similar to why you see the Pugna ban, taking away these high magic damage supports that have also a good amount of utility. ANxJell now going to look at the Slardar as their next ban. Getting the Stunfish off of the table. And this guy's been really strong in the offlane, can pretty comfortably flex to either of the other core roles as well.
5 seconds remain.
Pairs really nicely with the Gyrocopter too. Gives you vision to set up the rockets. Can maybe see a bounty hunter taken out, though I think a little less likely that they'd want to go for something like that, but it would be a similar strategy as the Slardar. AstroCats will open up the picks for the middle phase of the draft. It's going to be the Phoenix band out. This has been another very powerful support, thanks to all of the magic damage and attack slow. And then the big team fight ult in the form of the Supernova. ANxJell not looking to have to draft around a Phoenix, because you're usually trying to pick certain heroes to make sure that you have answers to the Supernova. They don't want to put that limitation on their draft. Back in the hands of AstroCats now for one last ban before we get into the meat of the draft. Could tell us a decent amount about what they want to pick. at the very least, it will probably be something to protect the pick that they're going to open this phase with. Or it could just be another high-value hero that they don't want to see in the draft. It's going to be the Queen of Pain, so yeah. So something on the side of just a powerful hero, maybe setting up their mid matchup, though we've also been seeing a bit of Queen of Pain in the carry role. So that one makes sense. I think Queen of Pain has been particularly strong thanks to the item changes. I think even after Kaya and Sanj got a bit of a nerf, it's still been very powerful. And then the new Shiva's Guard is a big player, and that's something Queen of Pain can get. Also the kind of right-click magic damage items, the Kanda and Parasma. They're going to go with a Tiny. So again, kind of sticking to the flex potential. I think Tiny's still been mostly played in the 4 role. I know we saw a position 4 Tiny yesterday. I forget if that was played by AstroCats.
10 seconds.
But definitely works well in the mid role as well, so they've got a ton of flexibility, really not showing their hand. There's a good chance this is just their support duo. But like that's kind of showing the least of what you're gonna want to counterpick, because you can't focus too many counterpicks on the supports of AstroCats and then let their cores kind of run wild. So a tough pair of picks here for ANxJell now. And this should give us a good idea of where their draft's going to head from here. They're going to pick up a Visage. This guy, I've been interested to see how he benefits from all of the item changes. Because it definitely, like, the new Solar Crest, he can't really buy himself anymore. It's really good with him. But that used to be, like, always his first item. And they're going to go with a Warlock, so most likely this is your 3, 4, 5, I would say. Warlock is the 5, Tusk is the 4, Visage is the 3. So kind of standard, leaving the carry and mid for last.
10 seconds.
Yeah, Warlock's going to give you a ton of AoE damage.
5 seconds.
Definitely really good team fight. From the Golem dropping in for the big stun, and then the Fatal Bonds is really devastating, and when you've got high damage heroes like Visage and Tusk, that just gets amplified even more and spread out across the team. So AstroCats, they're going to be looking for probably some form of damage mitigation. They're going to go with a Naga Siren. Yeah, the Warlock is the only big AoE clear here so far for ANxJell. I think Visage is going to have a hard time dealing with a Naga Siren.
10
at least into the later game. In the early game, I'm not sure how the lane goes, but I think Naga Siren's a hero that's more comfortable against a Visage than others. That'll definitely be your carry, so we're not going to see the Gyro or Tiny slide over to the carry role, which we wouldn't really expect. Gyro, somewhat likely. But if anything, we'd see one of them go to the mid. They're going to grab a Night Stalker for the offlane, so this is going to give them a good option for getting on top of the Warlock, making sure that the support can't take over the fights. Pairs nicely with a Tiny. It's a good way to set up. Also gives you vision. They're going to pick up a Pudge on ANxJell. So that's most likely an offlane or mid Pudge. Could even be a carry Pudge. I guess mid Pudge is most likely with the Visage. It's a really nice answer into the Naga Siren. It takes me back to the meta a couple years ago, where we had Pudge, or I guess just last year, since it's 31st. Yeah, Pudge into Naga Siren was a big like carry matchup. Pudge was a hero you kind of had to ban if you wanted to pick Naga carry, because then the Pudge carry would be there to counter it. So I like this pickup by ANxJell a lot. And paired with the Warlock, it means that they're not going to have too much trouble with the illusion spam. The Warlock is going to have to be careful about how they position. They're going to be at risk of just getting run at by the Naga illusions and kind of kept out of the fight that way. And the Night Stalker is going to be a problem as well. So the Warlock Warlock's game is hard here, but I like this Pudge pick. Got a Necrophos banned out as we get into the last phase. Lina for the side of AstroCats. That's interesting. So they are potentially thinking this is a carry Pudge, which I think is certainly on the table. Or they're worried about a carry Lina, which is possible. I think we haven't been seeing nearly as much carry Lina lately. But it's certainly not off the table.
5 seconds.
So one more ban here from AstroCats, and then we will get final ban from ANxJell before they get their final hero pick.
Dire's turn to battle.
I mean, Ember Spirit. So yeah, it looks like both teams think they're looking for mid laner heroes. I'm not positive that this Pudge is going in the carry role. I'm curious to see where it ends up. AstroCats might also be more familiar with ANxJell's history than I am.
10 seconds remain.
We're gonna get one more ban here.
5 seconds remain.
I'm trying to think what you really don't want to see in the mid lane. The Necro ban is a little interesting. Could indicate that ANxJell wants to pick up an illusion hero of their own. It's not a bad place for like a Phantom Lancer, I feel like. I think there's an opportunity there. Because you want a carry that's going to be resilient to this Night Stalker. Like, as much as you'd love to have something that kind of sits in the back behind a Pudge. And out the Ode. Yeah, as much as you want something that sits behind a Pudge, the Night Stalker, the Tiny, the Gyro, like, they have really good answers to backline, so you kind of just want even more durable frontline for this last pick. They're gonna go Leshrac, so that is looking more like a Pudge mid, though carry Leshrac is certainly on the table. That's gonna give them, like, not necessarily frontline damage, but something that's happy to be in the front, or sorry, tons of frontline damage, not frontline durability. But still a bit durable once you're online with your Bloodstone. A little curious. I think Leshrac's game is definitely harder with the change to Bloodstone on the 7.35B patch. The fact that it doesn't restore your mana anymore. But there's still the option of the Eternal Shroud. So as long as you're taking enough magic damage on Leshrac, then you're gonna have plenty of mana. But there's only so I mean the spins from Naga Siren, the support duo, these are high magic damage. Here, like there's a good amount of magic damage. I think the Eternal Shroud can work here. See what we finish off this draft with? Well, there's your magic damage. It's gonna be Zeus. And so it'll be Sheol on the Leshrac, Rina on the Pudge. To double check where these teams usually play, I'll just wait till we get into it to see where these heroes line up. Luis on the Warlock, Jesus on the Visage, Marijuano on the Husk. For AstroCats, Tony on the Gyro, Salivating Salamander on the Tiny. I do remember now, yeah, we saw Salivating Salamander play a Tiny yesterday. Sanin had the monstrous performances on Ursa and Faceless Void yesterday. So excited to see this Naga. And yeah, nothing else out of the ordinary here. Night Stalker in the off lane, Zeus in the mid lane. I gotta say, in terms of who I feel like wins this draft, I think I favor ANxJell a bit. The Pudge as the answer to the Naga Siren is pretty scary for Sanin. Like, the Naga's game is hard, and I think it's hard to win a game with a Naga if your Naga's game is hard.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
And so
there is just an absurd amount of magic damage between the Zeus and the support duo. So I think there's a potential for AstroCats to bring the burst, play an up-tempo early game, and kind of win the game without the Naga. And it's not like a Naga into Pudge is unwinnable. It's just harder. Okay. Phil has the bottle queued up, so it is going to be mid Leshrac, carry, Pudge. Both teams going to smoke out of base.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
Okay.
And everybody just making sure
Lucky.
they have everything good to go before we get into the game.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
Anything interesting for starting items? Nothing crazy. Fairy Fire on a Warlock, I like. Kind of concerned about the getting bursted, so having that faster way to regen in any early fights. Guess it's gonna go right for a Wraithband. And I guess this could still be a carry this out that.
This is a good opportunity.
I'm interested to see that. The new Vlad's is so inexpensive to acquire now that I think Visage is exactly the right kind of hero for it, with the familiars benefiting from it as well. Could get a clash right into the mid lane. Yeah, Nikola Jokic pops the smoke. They're gonna get a nice stun into the shards. No escape for this Night Stalker. Hooks back in, and the Fatal Bombs will help secure it. Yusuf picks up the first blood for the side of ANxJell.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
Well, side's gonna drop an observer in the same spot. One of them already aware that it's there. But is gonna see it. Now there's the sentry the other way. So it ends up being AstroCats that get control of this cheeky little ward spot. That was a very early first blood, so there's still room for some interesting things as we get to the actual runes. Everybody's back up. Nikola Jokic's here. They're going to take in a bit of damage. They're going to try to push them off of Bounty Rune. It's going to be Salivating Salamander that scoops it up. Looks like it'll end up being an even 2-2 split, as River Runes getting taken by the side of AstroCats, Jungle Runes getting taken by ANxJell. Mariglano in the spot to pick up that Radiant Bounty Rune. I think is why they're getting a tip from Luis.
This is a good opportunity to learn.
It looks like that Wraithband is on the way thanks to the first blood.
This is a good
and
opportunity to learn.
I have most of the wand right away. Get those stacks from the mirror images getting spammed out into things momentarily. The Jokic queuing up double bracer.
Like something from a dream.
Like maybe the first one already on the way off the bounty runes.
The quest
There's some
for
extra
ultimate
tangos.
glory continues.
Alright, and now we can finally get into our laning stage. Like Sunmei Tong was the one who did all the dewarding, even without the lightning bolt. So starting with a couple extra last hits. Both mid inside the bottle in the queue, as we would expect. See how this mid-matchup gets things started. High magic damage either way, so definitely potential for early alpha. The stun comes out, but that's all ANxJell has for the moment. Lane shenanigans happening up in the top side. Luis pulling the creep wave. Velvet and Salamander doing the same on the other side. So both supports just taking the creeps for a walk. Semifinals getting a little low. Stun not going to be there for AnxJell. Holds off on it for now. Down bot, Tony sitting a little bit low, but not in too much trouble. Now we're already getting pushed under by the Radiant. We've eaten some damage from the creeps that have been taken for a walk. It looks like the result... Oh no, there's still this creep wave back here from Salivating Salamander, but Nikola Jokic's up at the actual creep wave, where there's now a double wave from the Radiant, because Luis just brought those creeps right back. Interesting shenanigans here. I'm not sure who they're benefiting more. I mean, right now, Pudge has got more of the last hit, just because they've seen more creeps. So yeah, now this creep wave is going to get basically fully denied, because it's completely behind the wave. Not going to get any experience from that. Salivating Salamander going to go back up to meet the creeps up here. So at the end of the day, it's going to be 8-7 for Pudge, 6-1 for Night Stalker. So Pudge kind of getting the better of the support's shenanigans. Creeps. Down bot, pretty chill. A little hard to get a kill on some of these heroes, but we could see some aggression from the Tusk. Going to play a little forward now, holding on to a point, just a point in the Ice Shards for now. Deciding if they're going to want to connect with the Snowball Stun or get some extra damage from a tag team. That tag team with the Visage Familiars is going to be a really nice combo once we get there. A pretty nice lane duo. We've got the players to do it. The top lane, some harass going to come out from the Fatal Bonds. Rina maybe thinking about looking for a hook here. AstroCats getting a bit pushed back. Gyro is incredibly low. Spotted that just as he went down.
Even I like a good bobble.
Taken. Oh yeah, that big nuke from the Soul Assumption. Over in the mid lane, it looks like Zeus going to make the trip over to the Bounty Rune to refill that bottle. So far ahead on the last hits for the Zeus, so handling this lane pretty well. Semifinals did get the overall last pick. Is up in the top lane, Rina getting a little low. Getting healed up by the healing word. Another void there, but it's not going to be enough. And now the hook back under tower with the rot. Salivating Salamander not going to be able to escape. Will fall. Nikola Jokic a little low as well. The Fatal Bonds finally wears off. Rina hanging tight up here. Getting healed up by the Warlock. Nice sustain in the lane. Now aggressive once again on Tony. Marijuana a little low as well. The Gyro is going to fall, and it looks like Shannon will not be able to answer. So the Gyro goes down again. Marijuana is going to be forced to saunter back over to the fountain. In the mid lane, jump forward after the stun. Semifinals caught a little at an awkward place in the river. Gonna drop a tree and eat it. Trying to survive. ANxJell throws out one more lightning bolt. Is going to be fine for now. So he's feeling the pressure a little bit without the Tusk here. But Tony also making the long walk back to the lane. Get the Tusk TPing back in. Now Sandin has to be a little careful. And he gets stunned just outside the tower. Isus is already low, but has that tankiness from the Gravekeeper's cloak, and Sandin is going to fall. So a nice job by Marijuana coming back in off of walking home. Good timing. Pick up that kill on Sandin, punish the push forward with Tony still walking back from base. Up top, we're going to get the nighttime timing for Night Stalker. Dire side gonna have to play a bit more careful as Nikola Jokic getting a big power spike for the next 5 minutes. But it's a hard lane to bring down. You kind of also want to see a rotation. You get the boots of speed coming out. Tony looking to make a play over towards the mid lane. Marijuana not far behind over here. Actually, the first one to make it over here. And my tongue could also be in a little trouble. The threat of the earlier level 6 is, despite the leading creeps, Salvating Salamander making a play over here as well. Arcane Rune is up and Shale's going to get it. That's going to be a scary one for AstroCats to deal with. Now Marijuana in a bit of trouble. Rocket Barrage coming out. Big damage from Tony. One more flak is going to bring down the Tusk. Tony now trying to escape from that Lightning Storm. Salvating Salamander going to continue to pursue, but into this Arcane Rune. Shale is so scary on that left track. So it will just be the Tusk that will fall. AstroCats do a good job retreating and get away with everybody else. Salvating Salamander now making the rotation back up towards Marina. Nikola Jokic gonna join in and on the fun, trying to bring this Pudge down, taking advantage of that nighttime, but now Shale is in the area to make a counter rotation. Luis waiting in the wings as well. King of Nikola Jokic is gonna step up. Luis will now throw out a Fatal Bonds on the wave, get some harass damage in. Down bot. Visage and the Naga still kind of hanging out. Wisdom Runes gonna get split evenly. No shenanigans there. Veil of Discord already online for the arenas. Going for the early Shiva's Guard, an item that's been incredibly strong in its new form, building out of Veil of Discord. Got level 6 available on the Visage, and we're going to start to see it play forward. Marijuana initiating with the Ice Shards, and it's all too much damage. There's that tag team Familiars combo that we talked about.
Are you okay?
Dire shall look to their top tower.
Big damage from both the Tusk and the Visage. A nice rotation there. Up in the top lane, Reyna getting pressured. Is going to go down. Marijuana making the rotation over, but maybe in trouble themselves. Nikola Jokic getting the advantage of that nighttime. Still a couple more minutes to go. Toss up from Salvating Salamander. I think the Tusk a little too durable. Now they're going to initiate over towards Tony with the Snowball. Ice Shard's not quite there, so Tony's going to get pushed off the backside. Now Nikola Jokic taking the heat. The Avalanche is there, onto 2. Nikola Jokic trying to escape now. The Fatal Bonds, that's going to finish them off. Luis gets the kill from that. And so it ends up being a trade. And a double kill as the Fatal Bonds finds the Gyrocopter as well. Jill finds a kill on the Zeus off on the side. And now Salivating Salamander in trouble. This is going to be 4 heroes dead on the side of AstroCats.
What's a rock gonna do to me?
So 3 go down in the top lane, and then meanwhile, I think that's just a solo of the Zeus versus the Leshrac. ANxJell building a good amount of a lead now, up 2k net worth. A lot of it's on the Visage and Pudge. Side lane's winning out. Mid lane pretty even, slight advantage to the Zeus at this moment.
There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
Let's see, what else are we looking at for items?
Dire's middle tower is
Early Mage Slayer from Sanin, trying to mitigate the damage from that Zeus, as well as the Pudge. Now stuns up. Looks like they will successfully bring down the Pudge without nearly as much trouble this time. A nice play from AstroCats. Also be that first use of Dark Ascension. Nikola Jokic hits the level 6 timing. In the mid lane, Tony gonna step up into trouble. Marijuana there with the punch and the Ice Shards.
no, not again.
And yeah, Tony correctly identifying the ward here, watching the rune. They're potentially gonna look for more. Shale gonna start farming up this way towards top as Reyna respawns.
There is little hope for Dire's
Outside Isus. We're looking to aggress again on Sanin. Feeling the damage from the Visage, gets brought down to half before they choose to back away. We're in the mid lane, it's another kill on the Zeus for Sheol. These nukes are just too much. Pulse Nova plus the Lightning Storm deletes the Zeus. Put up as well by the Tusk once again.
is always ready.
Everyone, I'm making tons of plays. 1, 1, and 9 to kick things off. Been all around the map. By far the highest kill participation. 10 out of the 12 kills, only dying once so far. Good showing from this Tusk. That was their opening pick. They knew that they could build this draft around it.
I have bunting for you.
Damage Amperoon starting to wear off on Leshrac. Probably also help Izu's kill. Luis gonna make the rotation down here, so this should be an easy tower pickup. Doesn't look like AstroCats really want to contest it. Just looking to make up some of the ground they've lost so far. Naga's still doing quite well on farm, but Shale now getting higher up off of a couple kills on the Zeus. We're also back in daytime, so Nikola Jokic not looking to play quite as active as before. But we'll have that Dark Ascension available, so may look to make a play around that. Bill has the mana boots, almost a dual scepter finished off. Prioritizing some early mana regen, as well as the setup for the stun from the Yule Scepter. Looking to kind of burst somebody down with that build. These boots on right into the Aghanim Scepter, which makes sense for the carry pudge. That really amps up the damage on the Rot. Increases the radius as well. That's going to be the big answer. Arena now. Pressing forward on Nikola Jokic, gonna get there with the Dismember, and Shale disconnected a little bit of an awkward time. We might see a chance for a turnaround from AstroCats off of this pause. They're not far from that top tower. Tony already teleporting in. It looks like the Dismember not being too painful for Night Stalker. He's affected by the Veil of Discord, so taking extra damage from the Rot. And they're going to get stunned up and controlled by the Tusk as soon as this ends. They're going to have the Dark Ascension as well, so that will keep them from getting trapped in the Ice Shards. But a TP available from Sun Mei Tang. So that definitely gives them an option to contest this. Salving Salamander TP's ready to go as well. Curious to see if they try to turn this around. I think AstroCats have an opportunity here. And they're getting to fully plan this out in this pause. What else are
making mistakes
on?
is
Good
the
amount
path
of
to
money
wisdom.
for Louis, sitting on 1,200 and something coming out on the card. With some wards and a Fairy's Trinket. Fairy's Trinket going to amp up that damage with Fatal Wands a bit more. Curious what this 1,200 gold is going to go to. Force Staff feels really important in this game. Escaping from the Night Stalker, who is going to be focusing in on Louis throughout these fights, seems like it'll be really important. Other items to help them survive. Night Stalker's initiations are going to be big. We got Vladimir's Offering and Drums finished on Visage going right for the Boots of Bearing. Might even already be on the way, or might be... Yeah, looks like they'll wait for a bit to combine them, probably once they're closer to running out of charges on their drum. Hype queued up next. Somebody's got to build it. Might as well be the Visage, who likes building the aura items anyway. Because with the magic damage of a Zeus, alongside the supports, can be a little scary. Zeus working on the Phylactery, and already has the Diadem for the Honda. I believe that's the build-up. Looking for... Oh no, that's right, it's a crit. So what's that diadem for? I mean, a multitude. Oh, the diadem's for the phylactery, of course. I knew that. Courier waiting there. Only needs a little bit more gold. Get that point booster, about 400 off. And we'll see that extra damage coming out on the Arc Lightnings and Lightning Bolts. Pause, taking a bit long. Bale, who has... looks like the Yules is about to connect. Yeah. They'll have that Yules if they have a TP, so they can show up to this fight too. Could get a big brawl off of this initiation. There we go. Yeah, everybody could show up to this fight. The only player without a TP currently available is Tony, and that's because they're already in the process of TPing to the fight. I'm guessing we won't see Naga or Visage join in, but Sheol could certainly TP over, and Luis and Sun Mei Tong can join out of the mid lane. It's going to favor the Radiant side a little bit. They're good deal closer to the Radiant Tower than the Dire Tower. There's Sheol. Now that we've completely overanalyzed this exact moment of the game, we can see how it plays out. Very, very possible Night Stalker just pops Dark Ascension, gets the hell out of there, and nothing happens. So the yell's gonna end. ANxJell gonna realize that they're in a bit of trouble, and there you go. Doesn't even need a Dark Ascension. Marijuano chooses not to commit any more to holding that Night Stalker in place, and everybody goes on their way. Elevating Salamander hunting down here, but just finding an illusion. Another pause from ANxJell. Time some lag from Isus. I believe these guys are playing from Peru. AstroCats are here in NA. So, not too surprising that we'd see some lag on their side. I know the Mantis is in the lobby. I've assumed they're tracking pause time. We're not the strictest on it anyway. Curious to see here now if maybe with Marijuana backing away and Tony coming in on the TP. Do AstroCats actually want to look towards making something happen on Rena? Got the Dark Ascension available. Looks like for now they're content to just farm out the lane. Visage gonna make a rotation over. They've got the smoke going.
Scanning for enemies.
Fail gonna arrive as well. They're gonna try to hunt down something. AstroCats are up in their triangle. So ANxJell are gonna have to go pretty far if they're gonna find anybody here. Arena baiting a little bit under the tower. Use as well. Now we're gonna get the ult popped from Nikola Jokic. Tony gonna step up, and the smoke was just set up around the Wisdom Ring. It works perfectly. Tony shredded down, and the Wisdom Ring gonna be picked up by Sheol. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, though, Salivating Salamander walks away with the other Wisdom Ring for free. It's stolen in either direction, but a kill on top of it for the side of ANxJell, who go up to 13 and 4 now. Sandinja's gonna get some deep farm over here on the Naga. Has the Mage Slayer done. Good option for mitigating a lot of that magic damage coming out from the Leshrac and Pudge. As well as the Fatal Bombs.
is in danger.
ANxJell going to get wind of this and starting to look towards the Naga Siren, chasing them out of the triangle, but no further than that. It's like now they'll choose to focus over on the mid tower. AstroCats not looking like they want to contest this one either, so this will be the last Radiant Tier 1 tower to fall.
Radiant's middle tower is no more. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now they're going to make a rotation out towards bot lane. Tony up on the high ground, so not going to get spotted off the bat. Going to step down, go for that. And actually ends up denying it. Does not want to step forward any further. Sandin scooping up those lotuses. ANxJell may notice that those lotuses were being taken. And actually going to fully wrap around over to
Dominating, I guess.
Skeleton. Over on the top side, Shale finds a kill. Salivating Salamander. Bill's been quietly having a very good game, 4-0-2. Sunmei Tong now looking to wrap around on the backside. ANxJell joining as well. We're back into nighttime. Luis gonna get brought down. Shale hanging out pretty low on mana. Sunmei Tong still hanging out the area. Not a ton of mana to speak of either. Rina gets brought low. The fight is split up. ANxJell able to get away. Sunmei Tong not so lucky as Rina finds that kill. So ANxJell, they bring the heroes and they get the advantage in that fight. Luis goes down, but it ends up being a trade for Sunmei Tong. Not exactly what AstroCats are looking to have happen there. A lot of this is making quite a bit of space for the Naga Siren, though. It looks like the Yasha is on its way out. Not far off from that Manta style. Got Marijuana about to have the Blink Dagger. It's going to ship out to them right now. That's going to be a big initiation tool for the side of ANxJell. Marijuana already has been making a ton of plays happen. Now there's going to be another smoke up, perhaps around this Blink timing. Also the Agnim's timing of Rina, finishing that out on the Pudge. Smoke's going to break on Luis, but their target is Sandin, who's going to get the Naga Song off. Look to TP away, but the Golem is there! Luis sitting on the backline, drops it in, cancels the TP, and now Marijuana is going to get chased as the Naga Song runs out. Hook back, gives Sandin a little more space, and there's the root. Now the Snowball forward is going to bring the Pudge along. Golem chasing as well, and now the body blocks as Sandin tries to escape along the bridge. And just going to get brought down. That big AoE rot. Able to finish it off. Ward placed by Tony is going to spot out Sheol, and Sunmei Tong is there with plenty of resources. Now they're going to turn around. Marijuana makes the rotation over, and Sunmei Tong going to fall Tony as well. They do manage to finish off the kill on Sheol.
Thanks for playing Dota.
Salivating Salamander benefits from that 4 streak. Now Nikola Jokic just trying to back away with the rest of this Dark Ascension. As the Midas, so farming up on this Night Stalker. Good way to offset the farm in the, especially in the slower points of your game as a Night Stalker with the daytime affecting your ability to farm. So all in all, still things favoring ANxJell.
Should look to their top tower.
Kind of a slow slope down in their favor. 5k gold lead. Still plenty of room. We saw AstroCats make a comeback yesterday. Reyna steals a bit of a cheeky creep kill. Tony was gonna wait the wave. They're gonna bring 3 heroes down to this bot lane, so maybe looking to bring down this tier 2 tower.
Dire's middle tower
Push there.
is under
Maybe try to
attack.
find Tony or somebody else lurking. Sandin's farming up on the top side, so they're not going to find the Naga Siren. I think that may have been their ideal target, making their way down here. So the Glimmer Cape down on Luis. We got for Visage items. Pipe is finished on the Visage. Big tool there for mitigating the damage from Zeus and the supports, as well as some damage from the Naga. Riptide going to be magic damage as well, so. Kaya ready to go on left rack, looking at a Kaya Sanj into the Eternal Shroud. we talked about in the draft as a way to solve some of the mana problems. Over in the mid lane, they're going to find a nice initiation and bring down Marijuano. Suddenly Tong dishing out the damage on this Zeus, has a Kaya of their own for the damage there. Now Rina gonna jump in onto Tony, finds the Dismember, plenty of damage helped out by Zeus. We're on the backside, Sunmei Tong actually ends up falling to Sheol, who makes their way over to the fight. AstroCats, once again, they make a big play to pick off a support, but ANxJell there with the answers. Now it's Celebrating Salamander who's going to get spotted out. Looks to TP away, but the Split Earth is there. Is going to get brought down.
To your elements.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ninja Style finished on Naga Siren, looking at the Heart of Tarask next. So I think the big question as we get later into the game is the lead ANxJell has built big enough to deal with the farming? Because Sandin's been getting a good amount of space. They have found some good kills on the Naga Siren to keep their farm in check, but a lot of these fights, even when they're not going AstroCats' way, it is at least space for the Naga Siren to farm. So it'll really come down to between the Pudge and the Leshrac. I mean, it's so much AoE damage. But they certainly have tools to be able to bring down this Naga Siren throughout the game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think that's another reason we saw the Mage Slayer prioritized by Naga. Going to play a big part in the survivability. And I believe if the Illusions are able to apply this debuff as well, then it can definitely be a significant tool in the kit for the Naga.
What have we here?
Celebrating Salamander going to walk into Marijuana, but gets a nice blink over towards Sheol. They have the setup, trying to finish off the Leshrac. Now gets stunned up by Marijuana. The Golem is there as well. The Chaotic Offering comes down, rules up, giving Sheol more space as Nikola Jokic tries to make the rotation in. Now Sunmei Tong caught on the backline, brought down quickly by Rina. The fight quickly now falling apart. Marijuana going to chase forward as well, doesn't quite get up the high ground, so Nikola Jokic should be safe. Flying away with that Dark Ascension. Now ANxJell looking to push towards this tier 2 tower as well as bring down some of the pushing being done in the side by Sanin.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
He's looking at a Blink Dagger on Warlock. Wants to make sure that they're there to follow up with the rest of the team, get in there and drop that Golem. BKB ready to go on Rina, who's then looking at a Shiva's Guard next. Also, Blink Dagger is their own. As Sunmei Tong steps up, gets found by Marijuana and falls again. Tough start to the game for this Zeus. Looking at an Aether Lens next. Stay a bit further out of the danger zone. All of this initiation from ANxJell. They're going to smoke up now and maybe head out towards Nikola Jokic. Or to chase down this Tiny, who's just way in the back lines looking to make space. Looks to TP away, but immediately going to get hooked up. It's the Avalanche, so getting some space, but magic damage is just too much for the Rot.
Oh no.
There will be no escape for the Tiny.
A tithe to the impurities.
Continuing to build up to 9k for ANxJell now.
Got it.
It's a 91% win probability, according to Dota Plus right now. That is a lot. Arena pops the BKB, they get the initiation with the Zeus ult, but it looks like AstroCats not going to choose to chase any further.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Looking to go through the Twin Gates, but it's actually all of Dire that are chasing up through the river.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And this could be trouble for AstroCats.
Someone lays
Tony's going to use the smoke. This should allow them to see what's coming. ANxJell over here as well. Arena pops the Dismember, only finds an illusion. Now they're going to chase forward onto Sandin with the Tusk though, and the damage once again, the tag team plus the Familiars. Overwhelming. Sandin, no opportunity to get off a Naga Song, finally goes down. Stuns are there, the follow-up with that Blink Dagger from Luis. Arena getting brought a little bit low. ANxJell still looking to make something happen, but now the snowball forward again. Punches the Night Stalker out of the air and back to the ground. Salivating Salamander in on the back line, finds a kill on Luis, but is just going to go down to Arena as well. Now Tony is going to be caught out, the only one left in the area.
It happened again.
Zeus as well,
Impossible kill.
trying to chase down Sheol, but ends up falling. The Eternal Shroud is online, and it's a full team wipe of AstroCats, only losing Luis on the side of ANxJell. And now things are really looking like trouble for AstroCats. ANxJell, they have been dominant throughout this game, and they are looking to stay that way. It's looking harder and harder for this Naga to be able to come online into just the sheer amount of AoE damage that is available on the side of ANxJell. They're going to turn this team fight into a Stolen Tormentor, pick up the Aghanim Shard for the Tusk. Gets that extended Ice Shards, as well as that extra slow and DPS within it. ANxJell stepping up, picking up some creeps on the wave. Got the Silent as the Grave Aghanims done on the mission. ANxJell does sniff it out a little bit. Now getting tossed back over towards Reno, who has the BKB, and now they're going to get the Dismember on ANxJell, who goes down. Salivating Salamander will fall as well, as Tony does as well. Sandin just trying to escape and find something on the back line, but fully controlled and held in place. It's another 4 heroes dead for AstroCats, and ANxJell return to finishing off the Tier 2 tower, and it's going to be them finishing off the game. GG called by Salivating Salamander. AstroCats going to tap out of this one, and it was certainly feeling pretty over at that point. They look for one last fight, but they can't make it happen. The end of the day, perhaps a bit of an outdraft by the side of ANxJell. And let's see. Yeah, 34-8 is your final score. Naga Siren just never finding a way into this game. Way too much AoE damage. With the heroes that were left in the pool when the Naga Siren was picked. Really nice showing from ANxJell. They played this game really cleanly. They won their draft very nicely. And they were able to make this game happen in pretty decisive fashion. We'll see what AstroCats are able to do to answer back. I think they just have to think about their draft a little differently. And that'll certainly at least set them up for a better chance. As far as MVP, I mean, it was really a team effort. I'm going to give it to Mary Guano. 4-2-19 on a Tusk. Obviously, there's a lot of very good KDAs here on ANxJell, but the Tusk was just all over the map. Participated in like 10 more kills than anybody else. Very impressive stuff from Marijuano. So I'm going to give it to the Tusk. We're going to have a quick break, and then we will be back for game number 2, so stay with us. Alright, short break indeed. We are right back into things for game number 2.
10 seconds.
It's going
5
to be
seconds remain.
AstroCats with first pick. This time around, ANxJell with the Radiant side. Visage going to be banned out from AstroCats, so immediately going after some of the strategies we saw from ANxJell last game. Trying to answer this fast snowball-y play we saw from them to take game 1 in pretty decisive fashion. Chen Treant Protector going to be the follow-up bans from ANxJell, targeting that position 5 role, respecting Luis's hero pool. And respecting some of the more powerful position 5 supports in the meta at the moment. So we'll see another ban here from AstroCats, followed by 2 more from ANxJell. Curious if they'll also take away the Tusk. It's going to be a Batrider ban again.
It is Radiant's ban.
Invoker banned out by ANxJell. 1 more ban to go. Batrider taken away again by AstroCats. Curious. I feel like they've been heavily prioritizing that ban. I feel like I haven't seen as much from the Batrider lately. I'm curious what they're seeing in it. It's going to be the Pugna banned out as the last ban for ANxJell. We saw that banned, I believe, by them as well last game. And focusing on those high damage supports as well. 1 more ban by AstroCats before we get their opening pick. Curious to see if they go back to something, if they still felt confident in it from the last game, or if there's something that they're scared of from AstroCats, or sorry, from ANxJell, that they don't want to see again in this game. I wouldn't mind seeing a Tusk ban. Maybe they steal the Tusk for themselves. I think Salivating Salamander, based on what I've seen from their tiny play, and the rest of their games yesterday. Oh, Spirit Breaker is left in the pool. Nature's Prophet is as well. Those are the ones we usually see. So yeah, it's going to be the Shadow Demon ban to set up the Spirit Breaker pick. Shadow Demon, one of the better answers to the Spirit Breaker, so they make sure that that's out of the way. I really like this pick from AstroCats. I mean, it's obviously a very strong hero at the moment, mostly in the support role. But it just sets them up to play an up-tempo game, which is what we saw out of ANxJell last game. And so it gives them a good shot at like getting things rolling. I think especially for a game where you have to bounce back from a game 1 loss, I think a Spirit Breaker draft can really set you up to do better in game 2, get things rolling for you. Dark Willow picked up by ANxJell as their opener, so that'll be their choice of response for the Spirit Breaker. Gives you some AoE control with the Brambles as a nice way to handle Spirit Breaker's mobility, interrupt their entrance into the fight. Makes it a little bit harder for the Spirit Breaker to navigate the fight. Huck banned out by AstroCats. Going to have 1 more ban from them here in the second phase.
10 seconds.
So looking back at that mid lane is where we're going to see this Puck ban.
5 seconds.
Curious if they will target the mid with another ban, trying to handle Sheol's pool. We saw that impressive performance on the Leshrac last game. And try to set up Sun Mei Tong for success in the laning stage.
Radiant's turn.
Yeah, it is going to be the Leshrac banned out. They'll put respect on that Lesh from ANxJell. Now we'll see another ban from ANxJell before they kick off the picks on their side of the middle phase of the draft.
10 seconds. Radiant must die.
It's going to be the Dark Seer ban out, followed by a Clockwork. Clock's been a very fun support lately in either the 4 or 5 role. I suspect we'll see the Clock 5 and the Dark Willow 4. Just because of how it can set up your laning partners, but it depends. ANxJell might go for like a ranged offlaner that they want to pair with the Clockwork, like a Viper or Death Prophet. AstroCats now have to play a little carefully if they want to pick something for backline damage. It's a lot harder to play with the Clockwork in the game. Could potentially see a Drow on either side. Drow feels like a nice answer for both the Spirit Breaker and the Clockwork. It's going to be the Phoenix. Another support we've seen banned out in a lot of games. Makes it through and gets picked up by AstroCats. That's going to give them nice control of the fights with some AoE damage and the Supernova.
10 seconds remain.
Should play well. The Spirit Breaker has the Icarus Dive to follow up on their initiations.
Seconds.
Also, just the big-time heals is probably the biggest thing from the Phoenix. See, AstroCat's a little deep into their reserve time already.
Radiant's turn to pick.
It's going to be the Slardar, another hero we saw banned out. So AstroCats, I think, were the ones banning these heroes before. I think all 3 of these were banned by AstroCats last game. Then they decided, why are we banning these heroes? We could just pick them ourselves. Then we don't have to play with them, and we get to use them, and they're very strong. That said, the Slardar's game isn't the easiest into a Dark Willow Clockwork. I mean, definitely can shred through either of these heroes, but Dark Willow has the evasiveness with the Shadow Realm to at least survive a bit longer. And Clockwork is a bit more durable. It's going to be the Luna, not the Drow, that we see out of ANxJell. So that will, yeah, likely pair up in the safe lane with the Clockwork. And that's going to be another big tempo carry. A hero that comes on, like, doesn't mind going to the late game, farms very well, but also comes online early and has the potential to end a game quickly.
5 seconds remain.
Should lane pretty well into the Slardar. It's going to be a Dawnbreaker from ANxJell, so getting some of that global mobility to answer the Spirit Breaker. This is going to be a pretty good answer to that Spirit Breaker, because wherever the Spirit Breaker charges, your Dawnbreaker can just Solar Guardian in, drop right on top of the Spirit Breaker, and whoever comes in with him to join the fight, heal whoever is being gone on, and turn things around for ANxJell. One last pick from AstroCats to round out the middle phase, and it's going to be the Morphling. We haven't been seeing as much of lately, but feels pretty good into a Luna. You get to steal the Glaives by morphing into her. And overall, just,
10 seconds.
Yeah, has the potential to
5 seconds.
bring a ton of damage to these fights. Pairs nicely in the lane with the Spirit Breaker. It means your Spirit Breaker is probably going to be your position 5 to lane together with the Morphling. Phoenix will go join the Slardar. And the Phoenix being the position 4 makes life a little harder for Luna in lane. The attack speed slow coming out from the Phoenix is going to be a pain for farming, but you still have the Lucent Beam to pick up some last hits here and there with. Outworld Destroyer going to be taken away by AstroCats. Makes sense with the Spirit Breaker. It's another good way to interrupt the charge, and a scary hero to put in the hands of ANxJell. See what ANxJell want to ban out now. It looks like both sides pretty definitively looking for a mid lane. Dawnbreaker could go into the mid lane. It's going to be a Kunkka ban. ANxJell hero we haven't seen much of in our streams yesterday and today, but has been a very powerful mid laner. Big AoE damage. There's also a bit of a... I don't know if it quite counts as cheese. I think it's a bit of a cheese build. But if you get Bloodstone on Kunkka, then the AoE increase of Torrent is kind of absurd. And you can get heroes permanently locked down with the Aghanim Scepter and that Torrent Storm. With all of the torrents coming through, you can just get it so that heroes are like continuously stunned by a torrent. It's a bit gross. I don't know that we'd see it here. And we won't see it in this game because it's banned out. Storm Spirit taken out of the pool as well.
10 seconds.
So one more ban here from AstroCats, trying to set up the ideal mid lane for themselves, but it will be ANxJell that gets the overall last pick for Sheol. So you really want to find a mid laner here for AstroCats that's going to be pretty comfortable no matter what their lane opponent is. Not a ton of flex potential either. You could shove the Slardar mid. That could be their little ace in the hole here. Is if you pick up a mid that you want to play but can be played in the offlane, and then get a more favorable lane matchup for the Slardar, you could do a little swap. Be interesting. See what it'll be.
Enchantress.
It's an Enchantress. So the Spirit Breaker's in the mid lane then? I don't think we're going to see a core Enchantress. I think it'd more likely be a core Spirit Breaker. It could be an off-lane Enchantress and a mid Slardar. This is a very interesting pick. I think this is going to throw ANxJell off quite a bit. I'm very curious to see what AstroCats are cooking here. Because it's very much not a hero I think anybody was expecting to see picked up here. And it really asks the question, like, what hero is mid for AstroCats? I think it has to be the Spirit Breaker or Slardar. So you have a decent idea. If you pick... Like, you already have a Luna, so you don't want to just pick, like, a sniper. But if you pick something long range, or something else that can deal... Maybe, like, a Timber Saw. Something that really likes a melee mid matchup, then I think you can punish what AstroCats are doing here pretty well. Unless the Morphling ends up mid and it's a Slardar carry. Yeah, they're going to go the Timber Saw. They're thinking what I'm thinking. That I don't know what's mid, but it's going to be something strength. It's going to be Sunmei on the mid Spirit Breaker. This is now really scary for AstroCats. I don't think Spirit Breaker has a great time in mid against a Timber Saw. The Whirling Death stat reductions is brutal against a strength hero. We shall see, but so far I think ANxJell really cracked this creative swap up by AstroCats with this Timber Saw pick, so I'm going to favor their draft again. You definitely have plenty of opportunities for AstroCats here, though, to make things happen. I think the Spirit Breaker... Like, they're playing a few very strong heroes. The Spirit Breaker and the Slardar and the Phoenix. These are all heroes that often are getting banned out. So, still plenty of potential. I think Sunmei Tang can really set the pace of this game with the Spirit Breaker as long as they're able to get out of the lane okay. And I think Salivating Salamander is going to have a big performance, has an opportunity for a big performance on the Enchantress, because we've been seeing, like, the Chen's super strong, Enchantress is kind of the next best thing with those Stolen Creeps. We saw, forget if it was Tony or Salivating Salamander, I think it was Tony. Pretty sure it was Tony playing Chen yesterday that had, like, a ton of really good plays with the creep. Yeah, it is going to be Dark Willow in the off lane with the Dawnbreaker, it looks like. As is tradition, we pause at the start for everybody to get connected. Smoke actually happened before the pause.
The lesson for you is never try.
Let's see, anything fun for starting items? Nothing crazy. Luis hasn't picked up anything yet. Full wand on the Morphling. Expecting to play into a Dawnbreaker Dark Willow lane. A little interesting to start with a full wand. It is 5 branches, so plenty of stats.
No, just
From the wand plus 3 branches. The intention. There we go. Starting with that windlace, bit of extra movement speed. Get things started. There needed the bathroom. We did have a shorter than normal break in the games. Ideally should have waited for everybody to take care of that in between games, but that's fine. Get things started now, it looks like.
The true heroes are the ones who wait all the way.
That's a strange manner of conduct.
And the smoke out from ANxJell as well. A little slower out of the gate, perhaps coming off of the bathroom break. We'll see where things line up. Last game we had Nikola Jokic caught out a little in the mid lane. Oh, Tony's gonna break this smoke and see a few heroes around them. It looks like spotted out before they're in too much trouble, so able to get away for now. Looks like nothing too exciting off of the initial smokes. See where everybody lines up to pick up the runes. Not much sitting top at the moment. Mostly towards the bottom side. Now some heroes making their way over. Jesus following some Tong up here. Take some smacks from the hammer. Shale gonna step over as well, but all of AstroCats sitting up on the high ground. Now a few of them are gonna show, and that's gonna tell Shale back away. And oh, Isos is gonna step up. Gets the big stuns out, but Sandon is already shifting back to strength. Does manage to steal that rune. It still gets split 2-2. Tony gonna chase Isos out a bit with the Fire Spirits. Is Dawnbreaker gonna show up to lane?
Sympathies.
Already a bit low on health. Coming out on that courier. Alright, does have tangos on the way. So that's good. He's going to throw some initiation over. Sword Salivating Salamander, Marijuano sitting down in the bot lane, and that's going to be their ticket to first blood. So hanging out, knowing that Isus wasn't going to be able to play aggressively coming off of the regen from the bounty rune fighting, Marijuano hangs out bot lane and picks up that first blood. It actually goes to Reina too, so pretty ideal scenario for ANxJell to get game 2 started off well for them once again. Tony is going to take some harass and will fall. The burn damage from the hammer and the blood grenade overwhelms the Phoenix. Lin ANxJell taking a good amount of damage, but now throwing it back the way of Semifinals. Charge out an immediate bash, but the Whirling Death is there. Semifinals, though, has plenty of resources. Still sitting on a Tango, and here comes the bottle. Things starting out pretty well for this Spirit Breaker. Last hit's pretty even as well.
Oh no.
Top lane, just sitting a little low. Harass coming out from the Fire Spirits. Rambles go down, but don't find Tony. He's just a little off the mark, but the Shadow Realm attack comes out. Then taking some damage, but shifting into strength. Isa's also in trouble getting low. And now forced to back away. I'm going to shift back into Agi to heal up. Down bot. Everybody hanging out mostly at good health. Semifinals a little low over in the mid lane. Charges forward to pick up the range creep. Back up top. Everybody feeling alright. See what we got for items coming out. And I'm gonna go right for those power treads, get that extra injection of stats. Semifinals takes another big Whirling Death. Charges forward now, but it's not going to be enough, and ANxJell is going to get the kill. This is the concern with the Timbersaw pick for the mid lane matchup against the Spirit Breaker. That Whirling Death, absolutely brutal pure damage, and the stat reduction. Semifinals charges right back into things. Looks like ANxJell is going to be okay. Able to back up under the tower. The wave is already a little pushed out. Topside Marijuana. Trying to babysit the creep pull. And we'll manage to grab the Centaur. Rebels come out as well, so Sin is taking a good amount of harass. Tony as well. Isos able to pretty comfortably sit back and farm the wave. It's going to be good to help catch back up a little bit, as Isos the only of the ANxJell cores not off to towards the top to start things off. He's sitting a little low as it looks like there was a bit of a backline dive, and now Semifinals is going to make the rotation over, but the Timbersaw is rotating top as well. Looks like this should be one for Luis, but the cogs are there to block off Semifinals' entrance into the fight. Elevating Salamander getting brought low. Luis will find that kill and then get traded with Semifinals. Up on the top side, Sale brings down Tony, so the mid ganks either way each find a kill. He's just looking for more. Coming forward on Sen, but the Adaptive Strike pushes away the Hammer Strike from that Starbreaker. Trying to escape now, has plenty of strength to work with and can shift a bit further still. Guano now getting low, and Tony TPing back in off the respawn. Sen getting brought down, but another nice Adaptive Strike. Push back from the strength, but Guano's there with the right clicks to finish off. It looks like their life will be traded as they burn down and get finished off. Semifinals going to rotate over as well, wants to find the kill on Isos with the trade, or with the chase. The burn damage, once again, the Fire Spirits with the slow. Means that they're able to find another kill and answer. So AstroCats making some good movements. Semifinals, yeah, trying to set the pace of this game, but now runs into ANxJell. Has level 6, and the damage from the chakra is brutal. Just able to survive and charge away. Head over to the mid lane to pick up more farm, pop a salve, find a bounty urn, or sorry, a damage amber. Marijuana going to throw out some harass, making their way over to the mid lane. I'm going to steal some bounties as well. Usos feeling the pressure under the tower. Both supports rotating over. Elevating Salamander. Throwing out some spears. Once again, the Starbreaker interrupted. Now the laser from Tony. It's just going to be enough with the burn damage. Marijuana not able to rotate over to help out just in time. ANxJell holding up on their own with the supports rotating away for AstroCats. Now maybe taking some heat, but able to escape from Luis before the rocket barrage starts hitting them. Battery assault. Really swap those two names. Wisdom runes picked up by the respective position 4s as normal. That 7-minute injection of experience. Luis looking to get some deep vision, but is going to get spotted out. Once again, quick on the cogs, but now the level 6 is there. Sun Mei Tong just going to be forced to walk away. No more gas in the tank to walk into this battery assault clockwork. Marguano picking up the Watcher, doing a little bit of scouting into the dire jungle. Joel playing forward right under the tower, and Sun Mei Tong in plenty of trouble. Another chain is there. Doesn't quite connect, but the Whirling Death will show up and finish off Sun Mei Tong. Timbersaw doing Timbersaw things, made it in as the last pick in the draft. Stun up on Tony means that the Phoenix is going to be in trouble, but has the Accursed Dive, so able to get away.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
Beast Boots ready on Nikola Jokic. Force Staff being worked on by the Enchantress. Usos Phase Boots ready as well. Legend offlaners both probably looking at an Echo Saber soon. Falcon Blade for that mana sustain on the Morphling, then looking at a Morbid Mask into a Manta. The Sun Mei Tong working on just a casual magic wand now. So looking at an early Blink Dagger on the Timbersaw. That's going to be an option for letting ANxJell turn up the tempo even more. Game that they are already slightly leading. See the Luna pretty happily farming for most of this game, so sitting up at the top of the net worth for Reyna. He's going to make a rotation in behind Sand and throws down the Observer Ward. Peeking through the trees. Over towards mid. Tony trying to escape does have the Cursed Crown on them. And that somewhat recently added feature for Marijuana, the Bedlam, being able to be cast on the Timbersaw, gives you a nice little combo for even more AoE damage around Sheol. Luis gonna look for initiation over here on Nikola Jokic. Hits the hook shot, hits the cog setup. Reyna trying to join in to help finish it off, but it looks like Nikola Jokic able to survive. Anyway, forms forward, looking for something unusual. The Sheol's in the area, and this could be a big punish. Starbreaker comes down, and once again able to block it with the Adaptive Strike. Shannon's been on top of their game with that. Sun Mei Tong thinking about throwing out the Nether Strike on Sheol, but hangs on to it for now. Semifinals gonna make a rotation over towards the bot lane. Elevating Salamander and Tony hanging out in the area. They want to find a gank on Reyna. This would be a big one. Another strike is there to start things off. ANxJell follows it up with the stun. There's Luis with the Clockwork and the Solar Guardian from Isos. Means that it's just going to be the Dawnbreaker falling for now. So they will still get a kill, but not exactly the kill they wanted. I think AstroCats will still be pretty happy with that. Semifinals a little stuck in the back lane as ANxJell picks up the kill on ANxJell. So now it's just a trade of offlaners. Sunmei going to need to escape, has to be a little bit careful about the angle they choose to do so. Are going to get pinged out. There will be a bit of a pursuit from ANxJell, but it looks like Sunmei will be okay. Trying to fight over the runes. AnxJell not able to stop Shill from getting Sunmei now in trouble. Going to charge away. Has the Curse Crown on them. Not going to get too far. Shill now chasing under the tower. He's just following them up. Sunmei trying to find another strike out onto the back line, but it's not enough to get away. Damage from Salivating Salamander coming out on Isos, but it's not going to bring anybody down. It ends up just being Sunmei that falls. Pressure coming out now from ANxJell. They once again are building this early advantage. Now Tony gonna get jumped on. That Blink Dagger is there from ANxJell, and it's devastating. Quick pickup. It's a mega kill streak for the Timbersaw. 5-0-2 on the Timber. ANxJell running this game from the mid lane.
Dire's middle tower is no more.
Oh, now an ancient stack is going to be found and stolen very quickly with the Chakra. That is painful for the side of AstroCats. Seeing their farm that they were saving up get stolen away before they can take it.
Gold!
We have the Blink Dagger ready to go on Slardar. ANxJell maybe looking to join up with the team, make some more fights happen. Kaya Sanj will be the next item for AnxJell. Fuel Scepter almost ready to go on Marijuana. More options for control and escape. Nice answer for the Spirit Breaker, because Yule's is not affected by status resistance, so you won't have to deal with Bulldoze status resistance, and keeps him up in the air. Also a nice way to stop the charge. So overall, good to have usually a couple Yule Scepters on the team when you're up against a Spirit Breaker. Luigi's looking at a Force Staff. What a Soul Ring on the support clocks. They're really looking to stay active in these engagements. Imagine also Tranquil Boots coming out now, because those aren't quite there. No, just going right for the Force Staff. Just wants the move speed of Boots plus Windlace. Not choosing to finish those into a Tranquil Boots. AnxJell gonna walk right into both supports. Bedlam is out onto Luis, and the damage is just too much. Isos is in the area, but not even needed. The supports secure the kill on the offlaner. Salvating Salamander forced to TP away as AnxJell looked to engage off on the back of that fight, but being just with Slardar to fall.
Gold for me. They're unstoppable? Onage.
So once again, finding a quick pickoff on that Phoenix. Tony just getting absolutely shredded. 6-0-2 now for AnxJell. Absolute menace, as Timbersaws tend to be owners of the early game, and now the Kaya is going to amp up that damage even further. Be even harder to answer for the side of AstroCats. That was an interesting little Timber Chain, and Blink. Centaur stun from the Enchanted Creep is there. Smoke trying to wrap around on the back. AnxJell with these weird chain blinks. Is now going to get caught up, but Thesis is there with the save from the Solar Guardian. And now it's trouble once again for AstroCats. They drop the Supernova, but the right clicks are going to be just enough to pop it before it lands. Now Reyna's in with the Eclipse. Hookshot means that they won't be able to find anything else, so it's just going to be the supports cleaned up. ANxJell continuing to execute these fights well. Spell trouble for the side of AstroCats. Jill blinking forward once again, finds ANxJell, follows with the Timber Chain. ANxJell is quite fast with that Guardian Sprint. Gonna escape down the river, where they have that bonus move speed from it. Chong gonna get Yuled up into the brambles, and now in trouble. No chance to escape even with the bulldoze. Marijuana picks up that kill with the Bedlam on Sheol. 16-5 at 17 minutes. ANxJell's tempo is just too much. These guys are looking to be dominating this game in similar fashion to the first one. Salving Salamander up on top is going to get interrupted from going through the gate by Luis, who's just going to stand there with the cogs around him. Offers the high fives. Fails there to help clean it up. Marijuana will actually be the one who picks up the kill. Smoked up and looking for more. A little bit of knocking lead. Where did the Morphling go? The hooks come out and the Morph disappears. ANxJell now going to get controlled up by the Yules. That's going to spell their doom. Everybody in the cogs for the party. We're having a fish for dinner as Slark goes down, or Slardar goes down. My goodness, I need this death recap. Rocket Flare, Chakram, Whirling Death. That's it. Must have been sitting on Max Agi. Just disappears. That is a tough one. That is one of the risks and fun things about playing a Morphling. ANxJell gonna find more trouble with both of the supports sitting mid lane waiting for something to happen. Isos is there to help secure it, and will pick up the kill with the Solar Guardian. Sunmeitong only able to watch in fear. The Slardar goes down once again. Sheol finding yet another kill on Tony. And now the hook shot onto the charging Sunmeitong. They're going to be right in. That's going to be another kill. Picks up the Spirit Breaker, and this one is starting to look like a mess. It's just so hard for AstroCats to find anything into this early tempo of ANxJell.
There is little hope for Dyer's middle tower.
93% win probability under the 20-minute mark. AstroCats, they're going to have to find a few fights in succession to get themselves back into this game. The Manta's there for the Morphling. They can get a good timing there. Actually looking at more of a blow-up build, looking at a Phylactery. See if they can get a Conda for a massive Adaptive Strike blow-up. Kind of shades of the old E-Blade shotgun build on Morphling. Maybe that's the ticket back into this game. ANxJell and BKB would be a big help for them as well. And that's where you start to see Timbersaws falling off, but a 10-0-5 Timbersaw, it's going to be a ways. Kaya Sanji now has the Veil of Discord coming out, working towards the Shiva's Guard. It's going to amp up that damage even further. Making this Timbersaw as difficult as possible to deal with. Spirit Vessel being worked on by Tony. Try to mitigate some of the regen from the side of ANxJell, as well as providing more ways to chase and help burn down the enemy heroes. Luis has the Force Staff done.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's coming out on the courier.
Scan on the hunt for radiant forces.
Hookshot does not quite connect on to Tony or Semifinals, but there's still going to be the pursuit on Sheol. Once again, gets the blink forward. This blink dagger on the Timbersaw. Absolutely brutal. Tony trying to escape under the tower, but there's no chance. The Chakram comes out. 12-0-5 from Sheol. Absolutely devastating play from this Timbersaw. Gonna TP back over to the tower. Try to find some of the heroes lurking over here. Semifinals and Salivating Salamander gonna TP away. A little bit of a long TP, but it will manage to succeed. Not much options for canceling it on the side of ANxJell. They are able to escape.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Elevating Salamander has a 4-staff ready, looking right at the Hurricane Pike next. Shadowblade being worked on by Semifinals. That extra movement speed for even better engages with the Charge of Darkness. Choka getting closer to that BKB. Oh yeah, remember, there's also a Luna sitting behind ANxJell farming this whole time. So while the Timbersaw's making space, you also have an absolutely massive Luna who has Manta, Butterfly, Mask of Madness, Dragonlance, and now an Aegis. ANxJell are going to run right up the lane, looking to start bringing the heat to these towers. Marijuano has a Blink Dagger on the Dark Willow, and the setup is just insane. Luis is in with the hook shot off of the Yules. There's not a chance for Semifinals to escape. It's going to be a Stolen Wisdom rune, the 21-minute rune. Left behind up in the skeleton area. Also be the Tormentor going the way of Luis, so extra scouting potential with the help of that jetpack.
It happened again. Own it.
Sheol continuing to bully the supports off of the screen. If I'm ever not looking at this Timbersaw, you can assume that somewhere off screen is killing a support. Because the Shiva's Guard is ready on the Timber. Harder to kill and dealing more damage. Also canceling out their regen. Means Tony's game gets even harder. The heals from the Sunray are going to be mitigated by the effect of that Shiva's Guard. Sandon, yeah, looking to get to that Conda for the big blow up off of the Phylactery. It's like, yeah, the Phylactery will be finished, so we'll get to see some burst damage coming out with that extra bit of damage, the 150 that can get stacked on top of the Adaptive Strike. Hookshot not quite there with the setup, but Reyna's there, which means that the Supernova will not be enough to escape. Standing now, as try to escape, does have the ability to shift into the Shadow Realm with the Morph. Now just trying to escape. Reyna chasing forward, throwing up the damage on the Salivating Salamander, and then Sheol is in Timber Chains into the base, chasing down Salivating Salamander, trying to stop them from getting the fountain. The Chakram's there, and it will. Standing up on the high ground, trying to bring down this Timbersaw, and they find a kill on Sheol. Adaptive Strike comes out, just trying to push them away. Reyna goes back to finish off that tier 2, which they hadn't brought down yet. Now they can push up into the high ground in this lane. That's the last of the dire tier 2s falling. Yules up on Sandon, but able to Manta and walk away from the Brambles. But now Luna, the backup plan, the carry is here and is going to absolutely decimate these bases. The waves start bouncing between the barracks. They start disappearing. Reyna a little bit low, but still has that Aegis to work with. Semifinals going to throw down the Nether Strike, so it looks like they will be able to get the Aegis, but the Yules is there. Salivating Salamander goes down in the backline. Isis also finds the kill onto Semifinals. As Sheol, an absolute menace, nearly kills Tony at the top of the stairs of the fountain. Reyna never falling with that Aegis. They finish off the barracks, and the Luna wants to look for more. doesn't mind if they fall, pops the Satanic, which has just arrived. Upgrade from the Mask of Madness, disassembling it, and able to heal back up easily. Still a minute to go, and it's going to be another set of barracks. Waves bouncing around on tier 4s. They do find the kill on Marijuano. They've tried to drop the Supernova, but Reyna's in with the right click. Nicola Jokic falling low as well. Isos jumps in, able to finish off with the Celestial Hammer. And GG is called. This game, there were no breaks on ANxJell as they punch their ticket to the Grand Finals. TDL America's Pro Series 29. Pretty convincing fashion from our #1 seed this weekend. That does it for our semifinals. ANxJell take it 2-0. MVP absolutely has to go to Sheol. 16-0-9 Timbersaw. Completely menacing performance. Brilliant last pick from ANxJell Esports. AstroCats, they had some creative drafting, shifting that Spirit Breaker over to the mid lane. But when it came down to it, ANxJell, they had the answer. They found the Timbersaw, and they stomped their way through this game. Just exponential curve straight the way through for ANxJell. Impressive performance. That is going to do it for me today. I'm just here for the semifinals. So that wraps things up here. Grand Finals is going to be ANxJell versus the winner of Hikori and Pacific. I'm going to throw you over to that stream. So go check that out and enjoy. And then stay tuned. I believe the Grand Finals will be on the TDL official Twitch channel. So check that out as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great New Year's. Have a great rest of your holidays. And stay tuned for more TDL action through the rest of the day and in weeks to come. Going to have plenty of it for you in 2024, and I'm looking forward to it.